Welcome to our class of 2020 graduation ceremony. The COVID-19 outbreak has made graduation look very different this year. This pandemic has taken a lot from our seniors and indeed from all of us. I imagine it must feel as if a large piece of your senior year was canceled, and I grieve with you and feel your pain over the loss of time together and the chance to say goodbye. Class of 2020, you have found yourselves in a situation where the normal rhythms of your daily life have been profoundly altered. While we may not be able to gather in person for a traditional graduation yet, that certainly doesn't diminish the great accomplishments of our graduates. Despite our year-end challenges, this has been another successful year at Model High School, and members of the class of 2020 have every reason to be proud. From academics to athletics to the arts, the members of this class have contributed greatly to the high levels of achievement model. This year's class includes 39 high honor graduates, 28 honor graduates, and 19 graduates receiving the honors seal. 15 members of this class are AP capstone recipients. Numerous honors and recognitions were earned by this class. 3 students received early admission to Georgia Tech and were featured in their admissions video. Another student was named a candidate in the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. 2 students were chosen to present at the prestigious 2020 Georgia Junior Science and Humanities Symposium, and yet another student was honored with the President's Volunteer Service Award. Many of your classmates have received scholarships for their continuing education. To date, total scholarship dollars offered is an impressive $3 million. This number will continue to rise as more scholarships are announced. The class of 2020's success goes beyond the classroom. They have also excelled in the area of athletics, with a number of seniors continuing their education through athletic scholarships. This year's seniors competed in 6 playoffs in different sports. Sadly, many seniors had their spring seasons cut short because of the COVID-19 outbreak. We will never know the successes they may have had. All these athletes have helped to build an attitude of winning that we hope will continue in the future. In addition, the group has enjoyed success in the arts. They have been participants in countywide ensemble productions, band competitions, and community art shows, and competitions in their time model. One senior began their school year as a participant in one of North America's premier summer training programs for young musicians. Needless to say, these students' efforts have produced great results. Anyone who has attended one of the ensemble productions, band performances, or viewed the entries in art competitions can attest to the talent of these students. I'm confident that this class will continue to be successful in whatever path they choose: college, technical school, the military, or the workforce. My hope is that they take their skills and interests and build a happy and successful life. I would like to take this opportunity to say, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of Model High School, congratulations to the graduates and the families and friends who have helped us arrive at this moment. Class of 2020, please know that you will always be a special class, known for your ability to weather difficult circumstances and come out stronger on the other side. You have liked the forge to bond with your fellow classmates unlike that of any of your predecessors. I wish that I could reach out and give all of you a big hug, but since that poses some obvious challenges, I would like to leave you with a parting thought. Graduation is about more than walking across the stage to collect a diploma. It marks the beginning of the next phase of your life, which is something worth celebrating even in these unique times.
Good afternoon, friends, family, faculty, and students. Today we celebrate the graduation of the Model High School class of 2020, something many of us had begun to believe would never happen. I find it only fitting that this class entered the world during a crisis, and now we must graduate during one. Maya Angelou once said, "Stand up straight and realize who you are, that you tower over your circumstances." As a student, I know that these times have been hard to process. 12 years of schooling, and we don't even get the best 3 months of the 12 years. Here we are today, despite circumstances, celebrating what we have all worked so hard to accomplish. We will be in history books. A quote I received from a fellow student that has stuck with them through high school states, "When nothing goes right, go left." This quote will remain true through our entire lives. If your plan does not go the way you had hoped, simply turn 90 degrees and continue your path in a different direction. I know that we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. We've already gotten this far, haven't we? In front of me, I see first-time high school graduates and some soon-to-be first-generation college students. We've been told that it all comes down to this, but does it really? I believe it's the ending of the first chapter in the book we call our lives. I know, such a cliche, but it is so very true. Each of us will accomplish many different things on our own, but if it was not for the amazing foundation that Model High School has given us, it would be a much harder task. Some of us have known each other since the beginning, and others for only a few years. Despite the time, we have all shared the same journey. We started at the age of 4 and slowly climbed our way up the totem pole. We have all laughed at the faces our teachers give us when our answer is far from correct. We have cried over papers we never thought we would finish or a class that would never end. We all smile when looking back at the bumpy road we have followed. It is a journey that we will always remember and can never forget. We have made memories that will last a lifetime. But just because our time here is over does not mean that the friendship we have must disappear. We will always share memories that are specific to our class. I can remember the faces of my fellow students the day we received our cap and gown. While it may have not been traditional, the smiles on each face proved it was something we will never forget. We all gathered at the lights and shared stories of our years at Model. We laughed, and some of us probably cried. These are the memories that no class before us has had. It is special for only us. Our future is coming soon. Each of us has a different plan for our life. Some will join the workforce, some will go to college, some will join the military. For those joining the military, we thank you for protecting our country. Our paths may never cross again, but we know that we can always count on each other when times get hard, no matter the distance between us. I can remember a day in 2nd grade when my teacher, Mr. White, told my class to never wish our lives away because we could never go back. From that moment on, I've enjoyed every minute of my school days, but sadly, our last day has come in the blink of an eye. Our emotions today are different for each. Some are sad to see the time we have had together over. Some may simply be ready to finally graduate. But we are all proud of ourselves and each other for all that we have accomplished. We want to thank the parents and guardians of every student here for pushing us to make it this far. To the teachers and coaches, thank you for never giving up on us and answering our endless questions. To our principals and faculty, thank you for the safe and loving environment you have given us during our time here. While I'm sad to say goodbye, I can't wait to see all of my fellow students accomplish the many great things I know they will. We have already persevered through so much, and we can accomplish anything we set our mind to. Once a Blue Devil, always a Blue Devil. Thank you.
September 11, 2001 began as a clear, sunny, late summer day. I was due to enter the world at any moment, and my parents were anxiously awaiting my arrival. Unfortunately, that day ended with terror and fear as terrorists coordinated attacks against our great country. My parents watched the news from the delivery room after my birth, and they feared what the world would hold for me in the coming years. Our class was born at the beginning of war, and our high school career is ending in a worldwide pandemic. These are unusual times. Who would have guessed we would be here under such unique circumstances? Recording this speech in an empty auditorium with my fellow classmates watching from home. Yet here we are, class 2020. We did it. Our high school journey has officially come to an end. Some of us will be heading off to college to further our educations, and some of us will be going out into the workforce. We will join the military. We will become doctors, lawyers, teachers, electricians, mechanics. We will solve world problems. We'll make the lives of people on earth better. Yet while this is an auspicious idea, it isn't what truly matters to me. Is it important to strive to make something of your career and your education? Yes, very much so. But ultimately, the career you go into or the amount of schooling that you attain does not define you as a person. My all-time favorite quote is from Mark Twain when he said, "I never let my schooling get in the way of my education." I have had many great people contribute to my life's education, and I'm incredibly grateful for each and every one of them. But I would like to point out or highlight one individual who has greatly impacted me. That would be my grandfather. Grandpa was the first person I ever told that I wanted to be here before giving this speech as your valedictorian today. And I know that he would have loved to be here to watch. My grandfather didn't go to college. He was a brick mason and a Vietnam War veteran. Yet in my opinion, he's one of the wisest men who's ever crossed the face of this earth. Grandpa didn't teach me the foundations of physics or why it's important to educate myself in the classics, but he, alongside my father, educated me better than anyone else could have. With every lesson he taught me, he never had to speak a word. I learned by watching the way that he lived his life every single day. Today, I would like to share 5 simple lessons that I learned from him that have made me who I am today. And I'm certain that I would not be here giving this speech before you if it weren't for these lessons he taught me. My grandfather owned a bricklaying company in the hot swamps of Louisiana, and when I was younger, I would usually spend most of my summer with him. One day, as we got ready to go fishing, one of his employees called and notified him that they would not be finishing the brick mailbox they were working on. My grandfather told me we would stop by to finish it really quickly, and then we would go fishing. Grandpa worked hard and fast, so he finished in no time. However, once he stepped back and looked at the completed mailbox, he was not satisfied with the result. He thought it had been finished with mediocre effort. He quickly then began removing all the bricks he had just laid and redid the last half of the mailbox to make sure that it looked its best. There are 2 lessons that lie here within this story. The first lesson is that if your name is on something, make sure you give it your absolute best, no matter how small the task is. Give it everything that you have. My grandfather's company built houses for several mayors in Louisiana, but he would not have been trusted with big jobs as these if he had not put all of his effort into small jobs such as building mailboxes. The second lesson is that when you make a mistake, no matter how small, you go back and you fix it. The third lesson I learned from my grandfather is to always judge people by the content of their character, not by their occupation, race, religion, or amount of education that they may have. My grandfather employed many people who never even went to high school, yet when they were speaking, they always had his undivided attention. He would spend hours talking to people, and he acted as though every person that he came in contact with knew something about life that he didn't. No matter how much education they had, he always knew they had something to teach him. I remember my grandfather was never a big fan of LeBron James. He hated the way that he always complained to referees when he was fouled, and he never hesitated to voice his opinion when watching his games. He preferred the players of the 80s and the 90s like Michael Jordan and the Detroit Pistons bad boys. One day after school, we stopped by the gas station to get a drink like we usually did, and the new LeBron James Sprite had just been released, and I was incredibly anxious to try it. My grandfather jokingly told me that he would never buy anything with LeBron's name on it, but he was willing to buy it for me just this once. As we were driving down the road, I convinced him to try just a taste of my Sprite. As soon as he took a drink, he put into a church parking lot, turned the car around, and went back to the gas station to get one for himself. The fourth lesson is this: never let your ignorance keep you from experiencing new things in life, because you may be missing out on something great. The final lesson is the most important one, and if I could choose only one of these lessons to model after him, it would be this. My grandfather loved the Lord with all of his heart, soul, strength, and mind. If you ever came into contact with him, you were affected by him. But if you got to know him, you were most definitely changed by him. He was able to affect and change so many people because he first allowed Jesus Christ to affect and change him. Class of 2020, there is so much in store for us. There are many problems in this world that I'm sure we will help solve. And I have no doubt that each and every one of us will flourish in our careers. But if I could ask just one thing of you, it would be this. Before we focus on becoming good doctors and lawyers, engineers, teachers, or whatever career path you may choose, let's focus on being good people. Focus on being a good son or a good daughter to your parents, a good sibling, a good friend, and a good testimony to those around you. Then as we get older, let's focus on being good husbands and good wives, good fathers and good mothers. When we better ourselves as human beings, it will undoubtedly better our careers. Great things are ahead of us, class of 2020. We are strong and resilient. Let's go out and change the world for good. Thank you.
This is where the chapter ends, and one now begins. Time has come for letting go. Hardest part is when you know all of these years that we've been here are ending. But I'll always remember we have had the time of our lives, and now the page is turned. The stories we will write. We have had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. It's hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, glad you have been my my friend in the time of our lives. Where the water meets the land, the shifting in the sand, where the memories come and go. Hardest part is when you know all of these years that we've been here are ending, but I'll always remember we had the time of our lives, and now the pages turn, the stories we will write. We've had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. It's hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives. We say goodbye, we hold on tight to these memories that never die. We say goodbye, we hold on tight to these memories that never die. We have had the time of our lives, and I will not forget the faces left behind. We have had the time of our lives, and now the pages turned, the stories we will write. It is hard to walk away from the best of days, but if it has to end, glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives. But if it has to end, glad you have been my friend in the time of our lives.